What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Bettors Tribune, brought to you by Line Sniper, your definitive resource for sports betting content and in-game analysis. You like that, Andy? I know you do. My name is James Mazzola, and I'm joined today by the one, the only, Andy Malter. We're going to talk a little US Open golf, Winged Foot Country Club, somewhere outside of New York City. But first, Andy, how are you today? You had a wonderful NFL week, so that's really exciting. Are you excited to talk about golf?
Yeah, so it's mid-September, so you know what that means. US Open. That's totally normal. It's a totally
Just like
normal
we drew
year.
it up
We're
in
fine.
January.
Everything's fine. Wait till we do our November Masters podcast. Jesus. But
Oh my
no,
gosh.
it's
I'm
cool having such weird tournaments at weird times and whatever. It's a great course. It's a tough course. Great field. Nuts rough. So I'm excited to get into this week.
And if you're a sports fan, this is about as good as it gets right now. NBA playoffs, opening weekend, or opening portion of the NFL season, and then you have a major thrown in there. Which for me, this is U.S. Open, Masters. It's my two favorite weeks of the year, so I'm excited. Winged Foot Country Club. I think it's a country club, golf club, something like that. It's prestigious. That's all I know. it's a hell of a golf course. You're looking at a par 70, 7,400 yards. More importantly, greens that are absolutely terrifying. In your research, what have you seen in this golf course that should be a key stat, or just general observations from all the flybys we've been watching and all the content that's been put out by the USGA?
Yeah, I was looking into this. I started to dig in. I saw the length. I actually saw our guy Dwayne put out a bet on the over/under for the strokes, basically strokes by the winner, and he said basically over on that. And I'm looking. I'm like, well, that doesn't jive. And then I'm like, oh yeah, this is a 70. Like this is a 70 at this length. So not only is that tough, yeah, it's a whole different ball game. Making it a 70 with that style length and just the rough. I mean, we've seen videos all week, people putting big pop cans in the rough and watching it sink all the way down, or just dropping balls into the rough. I think probably that's the biggest thing for me outside of the greens, and I think we'll touch on the greens and green complexes a lot. Who are errant off the tee. The first cut of the rough is 3 inches. The second cut is 6. It's thick. There's going to be some people taking relief out of there, maybe, or trying where there's going to be punch outs where you're not going to advance the ball much. There's going to be some big problems, and then imagine your third shot on a 4 is from 200 yards out on an approach, and you're looking at that green complex. So there's going to be some high scores. There's going to be some blow-up holes. It's going to be some problems. So, I mean, that was a big part of the handicap. I'm looking for a guy who can handle a blow-up hole or I don't rank scrambling all that high usually, but like scrambling around the green, just smart golfers, it's going to be big this week.
Yeah, and you bring up a couple good points. First, when you have a golf course that you haven't seen, like we don't see this regularly in the rotation. Last time we saw Winged Foot PGA Tour players was 2006. Ogilvy won. Then it has gone through a restoration, which actually, from what I understand, has made the greens even more difficult. Tee to green, it's going to be really difficult. When you look at 2006, there's a couple things that I thought were interesting. First off, the scrambling percentage, you bring up scrambling. The scrambling percentage, which is just what percentage is up and down, 40% for the entire field. That's probably bad. Second, couple that with the fact that the greens in regulation percentage for the entire field was 50%. So not only are guys not hitting greens, guys aren't getting anything up and down. So when you have that combination, especially on greens that are extremely undulated, tee to green is going to be a challenge. But once you're on the green, normally, you're like, oh, cool, I'm on the green. 2-putt here, get out for a par. If I hit it close, oh, awesome. I have a nice uphill straight putt. There's no straight putts here. Like the way the greens are set up, I mean, you're not all 5-footers are going to be, created equal. And we talk about that all the time, right? But at the same time, no putt on this is created equal. And even if you're in a good spot, you're going to have a lot of break on these greens. So all things combined, when you talk about tee to green, the rough, the narrow fairways, I mean, they're only looking at 20 yards wide and it's longer than shit. So you have to hit driver. it all sounds like to me it's going to be an over par kind of week. I don't know what your thoughts are on that score. That is a good spot to start. I
Yeah,
saw like
winner
a
winner might shoot.
178, 179.
I'd go higher than that. Probably
Yeah.
278.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Yeah, 278.
That
279.
would be
Yeah, 170. That would be
amazing.
pretty impressive.
That would be a record. That would mean that
Yeah.
probably the third round got called for hurricane or something. Superstorm
Well,
Sandy
hey, it
hit
is
the
2020,
upper
bro. I wouldn't
northeast.
joke around about that kind of shit.
No, that's true.
But
Yeah, even par might win this tournament. Looking
yeah.
for like course managers. Do we have a name for
Hmm.
guys like that who can just they're smart.
Grinders.
Yeah, grinders. Really, the guys who
Yeah.
they can hit their driver without having to be the guy that just hauls off every time. Like they can hit it smart. I'm going to take a little bit off this.
Hmm.
You definitely would want to give up 25 yards for the chance to be right down the gut. Like it's not going to make it give you any easy approach shots, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it's so penalizing to be in that rough. So good drivers, long good drive is almost it's weird. Every single
It's
week
hard.
since I've been handicapping golf, nothing has been higher for me than approach. Irons play, irons
Hmm.
play, irons play. It's so important. This will probably be the one time where I actually give it a little bit of a downgrade. And
I agree.
it's a little goofy to look at a course that way, but like I don't know, just yeah, like the false fronts, the weird runoff and collection areas, like even guys with great irons might not have a lot of success here. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
You're
better to
absolutely
be
right.
a good irons player than a bad irons player, but like it's not just automatically leaving you with these great putts every time. You have to get your
For
first
sure.
shot done.
Yeah. And, when you look at the top of the market, that all kind of jives, right? So why don't we dive into these guys? You have DJ Rom and JT who have pretty much been the class of the tour since the restart. DJ and Rom especially, they're priced anywhere from 8 to 14 basically. I know Rom has looks like at bookmaker Rom has actually took a dip. He was at 10 and now he's down to 8.5. He's actually the favorite currently. Of those three guys, and I know I have a favorite, and I've made it pretty clear. I think you're on the same page here. But who are you
Yeah.
looking at of those three guys? Because and I think it's important to also note the winner here will come from the top of the market. Maybe not the top three, but it's going to come from probably the top 20 to 25 guys, barring something crazy. If you're not in the official, the top 50 of the world golf ranking, you really haven't been able to do well in majors since Keegan Bradley went way the fuck back when. So when we're looking at the winner here, we're going to be focusing on the studs, right?
Yeah. And even at that price, it's John Rahm or nothing. Like
Yeah.
it is just such a course fit. I mean, just go look up any sort of metric for ball striking off the tee. Honestly, he's a good scrambler. He's a good greens and regulation
Yeah.
guy. He can, I mean, putting in the sand, he's great out of there. He's just good drives gained, fairways gained, driving distance. He's a top 25 player as far as that goes. Everything about him is a beautiful course fit. And there's something to be said, and I've talked to several people about this, for someone. I don't like to use momentum ever when I talk about sports because it's such a weird fake thing that doesn't
It's tough.
exist, especially in game. But there is something to be said for someone who's playing good golf. Good golfers play good golf, and it continues. It snowballs. Those are the guys that win. It's somebody who's just playing a little better each round, and suddenly they pop one. And Rom obviously has already popped one, and he's on top of his game right now, and it's a real good fit for him. So even at that price, I took it. So I got some 10-1 on him. I think if you
Yeah,
shop,
I
you can
do
get
as
some
well. And
9 still.
for sure, yeah, which is fine. I like make him 8 really here. I think that's where I'm at on him. If you look at just like kind of what you're saying with driving stats, and I'm with you on that. For once, driving is almost as important as approach for me. The way that I
Yeah,
like to
so
to to
weird.
dive into driving isn't just strokes gained approach or strokes gained off the tee because that doesn't factor in for accuracy. People have to understand that. We've talked about that here before, but like you have to make sure you grab an accuracy stat to pair with off the tee. Because again, if someone just bombs it, if they're closer to the flag, that is going to give them off the tee numbers, whereas they're not really in a position to score. Rom is 1,000, not even it's not even fucking close. Excuse my language, but it's not close For his driving distance and fairways gained, he's 14th in driving distance and 31st in fairways gained. There isn't anyone remotely within. You're either one or the other across the entire list. The next best guy is Fleetwood, and he's 24th in distance and 59th in fairways gained. So when you couple that with the fact that he's 8th in scrambling, and these are all over their last 50 rounds, what are we talking about here? Drive it straight, putt and chip around. And his weakness is his iron play. But if nobody's hitting greens, right, 50% of the whole field, that kind of neutralizes his weakness. So to me, he should be the favorite here, although DJ is playing at a just insane level. So it's really hard not to like DJ here as well, considering he has a US Open. He's played really well at tough golf courses. His putter has been absolutely amazing. I don't really know how you can go away from DJ either.
Yeah, I guess I would, if you do get in some trouble, and I think scrambling is a hard stat to look at too, because scrambling is one of those where, I don't know, it's hard to come up with an analogy. It's like
there's no good around the green stat. It just doesn't exist.
Well, yeah, it's tough. It's almost like, how the putting numbers are tilted a little, because it's like you miss a putt by just a little bit, and it's a full stroke. But the same thing, like scrambling, I think it's a lack of sample at that time. Like sometimes they're just not that much scrambling in a tournament, so your stats they're going to be tilted because of maybe one or two good performances scrambling. So that said, if you do want to use it, Rahm has amazing scrambling statistics, especially compared to DJ. But to caveat, I don't know if DJ has to scramble all that often, especially the way he's playing lately. So you can take that for what it is. I like Rahm. I think there's going to be a lot. I think that's going to come into play, and you do need to look at people who good scramblers, good out of the sand. Again, that's another one where it's not like they're hitting 30 bunkers around, and you have some huge sample size. But don't if someone is just garbage out of the sand, and that does have to penalize them in courses like this. And is there much? There's only 2 holes with water.
Yeah, there's really no penalties water wise. I don't even think it's in play really. There's a little OB, but to be really, it's kind of, and guys have described it. It's right in front of you. Here it is, dude. Like, have fun, man. It's all right there, which is a fun way, to play golf, I think. And JT's the one who actually said that. And you look at him at 14, but when we consider his putting, he hasn't shown the ability to putt well lately. Here's the thing. This is what's interesting. There's 2 schools of thought here, right? There's a thought that if everyone's going to putt shitty because the greens are really difficult, why not just go with the guys who are going to hit it the best? The other school of thought is you want good putters on difficult greens. I don't necessarily. I'm going to go with the latter of that, but I think there's an argument to be made if everyone's going to be missing putts, might as well have the guys hitting it the best. What do you think about that?
Yeah, and again, we just spoke about this, and I've heard you talk about this before. It's hard to take full context in some of these, just let's say, strokes gained putting, because a really close putt is penalized in the numbers as much as a badly missed putt for most part, especially if you make the next one, if it's a decent leave. So I think that's where you have to use a little more context and get to know some of the players a little better, which is tougher for me. I don't watch nearly as much golf as you, but think of guys who are smart putters, if that makes sense. Somebody with a good caddy and a good history of not 3-jacking. Somebody who knows, somebody knows, like, I'm in a bad situation here. This is, I have to lag this. I have to leave this here. I can't be going for this hole. Look at this complex. If I miss this long or to the right,
where am I?
It might end up off the green at that point, because that is completely something that's going to happen. So you do need some guys with some smarts here who've shown they can play greens like this. Go look back at like Memorial or some other tough courses like that where people have done well on super tough green complexes, I guess.
Yeah, they're hard.
I don't know if you have anybody in mind for that, but I mean, there are a few guys that you just know, like, that they get it when it comes to putting. Honestly, I hate to throw, because this is not somebody I'm going to play, but Matt Kuchar comes to mind. He's not a guy that's
going to be too short.
He's not a guy that's going to 3-5.
It's like there are so few guys who are amazing putters and long enough to actually get the ball, down the fairway here, which is why
I
we
can
love
think
Rom
of
so much.
one.
I
I
think,
can
right?
think of one, and
Well, yeah,
he
we'll talk
built a
about
little
him.
like you.
Let's go. Yeah, a little more fit, I would say. We're going to go to the next group of guys who are pretty bad putters, really. So it's interesting they're here. Rory, Xander, and Morikawa. I don't understand Xander being priced even amongst this group of guys. He's shorter than Justin Thomas at bookmaker. He's right there with Rory, who hasn't shown much, so I get it. But Morikawa is just a better golfer than Xander is right now. I think that 13.5 number is really bad. I will likely, depending upon what we see, and I talked about this yesterday. Head-to-head prices compared to outright prices they're just two fucking different markets. Don't even don't even consider them the same. But at the same time, of those three guys, and I mean, do any of those tempt you at all, or I mean, are we looking even further down the board for our next group?
Yeah, I'm going further. Just
Okay.
Rory. I liked him last week or 2 weeks ago, just with some real small bets coming off the
Yeah.
child. That was about it. I won some matchups with him just randomly while I was on vacation, but yeah,
He didn't play terrible.
13s for Xander and Rory don't do it for me. And Morikawa's been great. He's a winner now. Winners win, but
Yeah.
still in this field, I'm not laying 18-1 with him.
No, and now you're getting a price of a major champion. Like when we were getting 30s
Yeah, and
and
it's like,
35s,
he's great with irons. What did we just say? I don't want an irons player.
yeah,
Although he's not bad
for
on
sure.
the tee.
He's actually one of the straightest guys off the tee in the world. He's just really short, but his 6 iron, another guy's 8 iron is I'd take his 6 iron most of the time. Next group, we have Beefy Bryson, your boy, Webb and Cantlay. We got to talk about Bryson because when we talk about Rom being a driver putter combo, it doesn't get much. It doesn't get much better than Rom, but Bryson is actually a better driver and a better putter, distance wise and strokes gained putting wise than Rom is. He's completely fallen off the map with his approach game, which is one of his strengths when he was at his peak. Anything with Bryson here at 27.5? I have him at 30, which I'm fine with that. But I mean, just creeping up to the number I got pre-tournament. So what are you looking at with Bryson? And any of those
If
guys,
somebody
really,
comes
Webb
out,
or Cantlay.
yeah, he's what do you call it? In the bullpen? In the
In the
bullpen?
bullpen. Yeah.
It's in the pocket. And I'm not even wearing a nice
Keep
shirt.
an
I
eye
just
in.
got like a crap tee on. But in the pocket, yeah, if somebody gets if somebody posts a decent Thursday score and he's sitting like 30 or 40, 35, 40 to 1 live, he's definitely, I'd like to see him play. But right now I'm not adding that. He's been a little he's been shitty lately. Like, yeah, he's a great driver, great putter, but he's just not playing well enough for me to want to add him. I think he's saving it up for Augusta, where he probably wins 80 out of 100 times.
Yeah,
Just because I have
he's a
that
good fit
ticket
there.
to bring an honor, but yeah, not at that price. But he's definitely one of the guys that I might look to add.
Okay, and I'm with you on that. Webb, to me,
Like
it's a little too short of it's a little too short of a golf course or a little too long for him. But I mean, he is a US Open champ, so I mean, he has that ability, great short game. I mean, that guy's one of the best putters out there. And then Cantlay, I mean, he's just going to shuffle around for 4 days. I just don't want to bet him because I don't want to root for him because I hate watching him play golf.
Yeah.
You're with me.
Although
I love it.
we talked about Memorial, he won it last year.
Yeah,
Although I don't think 2019 Memorial was a lot like 2020 Memorial. Like, it was a tough course, but man, they jacked it up for this summer. So
Jack was
not
pissed.
at that number. I'd want 50.
Jack was like, "Fuck this! I'm going to screw with these guys. They have no chance now.
This weekend
Watch
was
this."
ridiculous.
This will, I mean, and that was a lot of wind aided, and it looks like it will be slightly windy here. But this is going to be just a here it is, guys. Good luck kind of place. And Memorial is the best comp that we've seen recently, without a doubt. Other than that BMW ad, just at Olympia Fields. That was a great tournament, and obviously we had Rom and DJ at the top. Two good hard golf course players. So we're looking down the mark. This is my favorite play of the week, and I know you're on this as well. Daniel Berger at 30 is absolutely wild. I don't understand how he isn't with that top. If Xander's at 13 and Berger's at 30, I don't understand that shit whatsoever. That's my favorite play. Even still, I have him at some absolutely wild numbers from earlier that aren't available, so they're not really worth talking about. But even at 30, I think that's a great play. Decky and Fleetwood in that crew as well. What are your thoughts on Berger's chances, and then anything on the two on the Japanese and English players?
Not many weeks go by where I don't like Daniel Berger.
It's hard not to.
Yeah, just he fits. And the only thing I will say is I think part of what is buoying him, did I say that word right? Buoying, making him buoyant in my model and bringing him up. Some of it is the approach. He's a great approach guy, but he's just go look at his numbers across the board. He's great everywhere. Tee to green. He's actually, just last 50 rounds, he's gaining strokes putting. He's probably I'd say probably top 25, top 30 putting over the last however many rounds you want to run back. He's played great. He's a top 10 player this summer. That's all there is to it, and it shouldn't be this big. You said, he should be more in the range of the 15 to 1. Anything over 20 to 1 is value on Berger. He should be in the mix. Some of his head-to-head prices are mispriced. I'll be on those. Right. And
I like it. I'm with you. I'm just looking at his last 50 rounds. He is, just real quick here. Hold on, let me pull it up. There we go. He is 10th in approach, 21st off the tee, 16th in fairways gained, and 2nd in scrambling. That's everything that we're looking for, right? And that's 50 rounds. That's a big sample. I love him here, and I have a ton of exposure. More than any other player, and it's not even really close. So, you're going 80-20 on the Berger selection for Sunday after he wins.
My guy will grind that for me. I can say, give me some 80-20 sirloin, and then I'll make some. Either way, I'm probably gonna grill burgers Sunday. I don't care.
I'm going bacon. I'm gonna go double cheese.
Oh, there'll be bacon on that. It'll either way. If he wins, it'll taste that much better. But either way, I'm grilling burgers on Sunday.
You might as well be prepared. I'm going grass fed from the farmer's market. I already have it all laid out, and it will be wonderful. I promise you that. But he's got to get to the winner's circle first. But I just don't understand him at this price. I think he should be probably. I make him 4th in this tournament. I have him actually ahead of Morikawa. So. That's pretty wild. Might be a little aggressive on him, but we'll talk about matchups here in a second. But I'm with you on that. Decky and Fleetwood, to me, those guys are out. I can't have that putter. It's just not a guy that I'm looking for. Any opinion on those two?
Yeah, Hideki misses the cut, and then Fleetwood probably misses the cut. Can you imagine if his putter is struggling?
Oh shit,
he's 15 over in the first 2 days. I love Hideki, and I've bet on a lot of 3-putts out there. If the putter ain't working, it's going to be a mess.
Yeah, and I don't take much from Fleetwood's. His performance in Portugal, where he was playing against club pros and shit. I don't think getting 3rd there does not matter to me. This is a real fucking golf tournament, so I'm out on him wholeheartedly. He's played like absolute shit. Finau, Scott, Day, anything of those 3. Day's interesting to me.
Day's dangerous because he is. And was and maybe still be the best putter in the world. At certain points in his career, he was undoubtedly. If you ask someone who's the best putter, you would say him.
100%.
I don't know if he's still at the pinnacle, but he's still great and he can be great. So he's dangerous. That's the Berger matchup I might not take because I have to lay some juice to go Berger over Day. So I might avoid that one. But Day is a guy. Again, he's in my pocket. I'm going to keep an eye on him. It's not a terrible price for a guy 40-ish. That's something I'm definitely thinking about.
I like it. I'm with you. That was the one guy I was like, I want him, but I like this guy a little bit better. And Finau and Scott. Finau's not winning the US Open. you can't take down a 3M. He's not winning the US Open. And Adam Scott I don't know what he's been doing since he won at Riviera, just drinking wine at his compound in Australia, which is great. Do your thing, bro. I love it. I would do the same thing. But the guy that I love in this price range and he's gone down substantially. I grabbed him at 43. He's all the way down to 29. This is a fucking Patrick Reed if I've ever seen it before. The United States Open on a hard golf course. What's that?
This is who I was alluding to before.
Yeah, and I think and Berger, Reed, and Rahm. I would just if I could just have those 3 guys, and you can have the rest. To be honest with you,
that's what my card is.
Well, perfect.
That's all like
step then.
I'm with you. They fit so perfectly, and go look at the top of this board where you have Xander and like how many combined majors do you have between Xander, JT, and like the last couple years of Rory?
One. That's it.
Yeah,
Just
I
one. I
mean,
mean,
Patrick
I'm with
Reed
you.
won. Great weekend at Augusta. I had him there. That
Yeah.
was lovely. He's won big tournaments. He's a winner. Like he will
WGCs,
play
he's
well at a
super
tournament like
competitive.
this.
Yeah. The interesting thing about Reed is that over the last like 24 rounds, he's become a freaking driver of the golf ball. He's starting to really
And
move
that's
it.
the thing. Yeah, his approach is a little down right now, and those
Little
are guys
shaky.
we're fine looking at. Yeah, this is my third
Yeah.
one, and I wish I'd have grabbed it earlier because I'm not getting as good of a number as you.
Just right off the bat, it was just like, what the fuck? Reed at a major is 43. Okay, I don't even need to look at the numbers. But yeah, I mean, he gained 2.4 strokes off the tee at the Tour Championship. He gained 4.5 off the tee at the Wyndham. Like that's not normally his game. You're looking at 4 at the Memorial. These are some big time, bombing numbers for a guy who's not really, that's not what he's really known for. What he is known for though is scrambling around and grinding his ass off. One of the best scramblers out there, and you just have to watch him to know. Great putter, won't be afraid of these greens, and more importantly, everyone talks about Xander being a big game hunter and all this shit. Like the dude has never won a big game. At least we have a Reed who has a green jacket sitting in his fucking closet. So that number to me is absolutely wild. It's super disrespectful for a guy who's won 9 times on tour, and you're going to drop a
How many
43. Obviously,
times?
it's wrong. It's down to 30. What's that?
9 times.
Reed has 9 wins. Like it's insane. Like it's either
That's
9
a
or
true
7, right?
stat.
Something like that.
I
So
think you're right. I'm not going to fact check you.
I'm
Happy to do it right
literally
now.
googling right now because I don't want to be wrong. But yeah, I mean, and he most of those wins. Sorry, he has 8 wins. So right, cut in between. You have 8 wins on tour, and you're 41 to win a fucking major. What the hell?
You're just 4 days ahead.
That's it. So I'm looking Reed. I love that number, and I know you're with me on that. And I think in the kind of the same mold is Terrell Hatton coming off of Arnold Palmer win where it was really difficult conditions, used to hard scoring conditions where he's grown up playing, wind, having to get up and down. He's an excellent putter. Hatton's another guy. I have him. Shoot, another guy. I bet him at 40. He's down to 35. I'm still okay with that. Those are 2 guys I love in that range. And then you have old Tiger. So anything on Hatton and Tiger, obviously we can talk about Reed all day.
I don't mind. I don't mind Hatton. No chance I'm touching Tiger. His putting's gone.
Are you more
his
likely?
putting's kind of gone right now. His game isn't. It's like a shell of himself, which is to say he's still an above average golfer on the best tour in the world. So, like,
sure.
while he'll play well, he doesn't have it in his bag right now to win a tournament like this with this field and especially this course. So, no touching Tiger. Hatton, I don't mind. I wish the number were a little bigger. I'd want like 40, 45. Again, it's still a tough field, tough course, but yeah, he's a guy who's near the top of my numbers, just not near enough, high enough to take an outright there.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, and that rounds it out. I think that covers most of the guys who have a chance to win. Are there any guys deeper? I have 2 deeper shots. Any guys deeper who kind of pique your interest?
It's funny. I got a DM out of the blue the other day about Cameron Champ.
Okay.
Somebody yelled at me. He says, I can help you get a book in Europe and you get 175 to 1 on him. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's because I liked your tweet. He's like, I'm talking to the wrong guy. He's like, I'm talking to the wrong guy. I didn't buy that
DM me too. He's so fucking pissed at me for getting bad numbers all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure you can get a hold of him too. It is hard to take a long shot here. Like, really outside of my guys, English, and I don't love him on this track. Like, just looking at some of these big numbers, and do you think Bubba gets it done with it? His driver's not going to be enough. I don't know if he's playing well enough right here. Yeah, Champ isn't a bad look at a huge number. You know who? Rasmus Højgaard, 150 to 1.
Get out of here.
European stud. Oh my God, he's at the top of the leaderboard every week. That's if I'm going to take a dip, I'm going to take a dip on guys you don't see over here. at like 150, 200 to 1.
Okay.
Euro studs, Corn Ferry, guys like that you see at the top of leaderboards who play at the top of leaderboards every week, just on a different tour. And I mean, it's still, that's a super long shot, but maybe Hojgaard top 40 or something.
There you go. I like Matty Wolf. I mean, he showed at the PGA what he can do. Low round on the Sunday, got in the clubhouse, obviously got passed, but I'm looking at 80 for Wolf. I bet 60, and I thought that was a fine number. So 66, he's up to 80. I think that's a good number for him. He's got PGA Tour win. Obviously, Cam Champions, I wholeheartedly agree. Dude has 2 wins. They're off-season events, but talk about moving the ball. That dude bombs it more than, he's like Bryson, basically. They're the same player off the tee. So those are my 2 long shots. Any of the other markets, we touched a little on head-to-heads. I'm obviously looking to back Berger as well, and I'm looking to fade Xander. And these are pretty new markets right now. They haven't really popped, and all the books don't even have these available yet. But anything else in the head-to-head market you're looking at, and then props, top 20s, top 10s, missed the cuts. Anything else just to kind of wrap it up, on the exotic stuff.
Yeah, matchups take such a long time, and there are so many people in this field that we don't see maybe a ton of, that you do have to dig a little deeper. You can't just, if you bet golf enough, you just know some of these guys. That number's probably, if you get deep enough in any market, you can just look at openers and be like, well, that's a little off. Like, I wouldn't have made the number there. You should be making your own numbers. There's not there's a bunch of matchups in here where I can't even come close to doing that. Like, what am I going to make Jason? Yeah, well, just, I'm not even sure. I had to scroll up. I'm like, am I looking at the Euro Tour? What am I looking at here? Because it's like JC Ritchie and Scott Hand. Like, I'm just gonna skip a lot of those completely. Yeah. But head are gonna take a bunch of Tuesday night work for me to look through.
And there's a lot of them.
Some of those top guys we didn't love. There's definitely a case to make for some miscuts at some big numbers on some of these guys. I think you can find some fat number. If there's someone near the top that you were looking to fade, you're going to get a decent number on them to miss the cut. And I'm not afraid to take some of those, like Hideki, plus 260 to miss the cut. Like that.
Okay.
It's a tough tournament. It's there's going to be some
a
big
lot of
top
miscuts.
that are not going to make the weekend. So like Spieth is even
it's
money.
60 in ties. It's not 70.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It is a tougher cut to make. So Hideki, Spieth at even money. Honestly, Cantlay at plus 245. I don't hate that. Phil is somehow plus money to miss the cut here. He's going to get in trouble. If Phil doesn't post a 7 before Sunday, I'll eat my hat.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, that's wild. I love those. I love both those. Spieth didn't make the fucking cut at the Safeway last week. How's he going to make the cut at the US Open? Like, what are we even talking about here? That's my favorite bet of anything.
But it's still, it's more than 50-50 in my mind.
He's got to be like 35% to make this cut, especially considering how difficult it is. And he hasn't been putting that well. That's my favorite bet of the prop market by far. I don't understand that. You can fade him in a head-to-head with Tude. It's fucking Tude. I'm not excited to grab Tude again. I've already lost that bet once this week or this month. I'll just put it all on Spieth to me. If he makes a cut, cool, great job, man. But he's not hitting fairways and he's not putting well. So how the hell is he going to ever score well enough to get to? What's the cut even going to be? It's going to be super high. But even with that said, you get 60 guys. He's not being the top 60 guys here.
Do you have a first rounder leader you like?
You know what? I don't. I'm going to look at the morning wave. From what I understand, the winds are supposed to pick up a little bit. Shocker, morning wave. The winds are supposed to pick up a little bit in Thursday afternoon. Plus, when this golf course gets baked out like it's going to, I think it's going to play a lot harder in the afternoon. So I'm going to the tee times, I believe they're out. Yeah, they just came out this morning. So I haven't dove into that. But if I can get a Finau or Fleetwood at like 40 as a first round leader, which might be a little aggressive, but those guys are just your auto first round leader guys, the 3Fs, Finau, Fleetwood, Fowler. Like that's all they can do is score in the first round. So if they get morning rounds and I get them at 40 or 50, they'll be starting the card without a doubt.
Top Asian.
Anything else?
Because I am down on Hideki, and Hideki is the favorite.
Ooh,
M at 3, Kim at plus 450, Benny Ann at 750, and then the rest I probably wouldn't touch some of those.
I love it.
But
Benny Ann, that's a lot of. Benny Ann said he shot 7 over on the back 9. He could have been fucking around on Twitter though. That's what he's like hilarious on there.
I think he was. Yeah, I think he was goofy.
I'd have to agree. So there we have
And
it. I mean,
practice rounds.
that's a pretty for sure. That's a pretty good breakdown of this golf tournament, in my opinion. Just a quick recap. Your favorite guys, and we're not always lock and step in this stuff. We do obviously talk a lot, but I think we're kind of on the same guys. So why don't you just recap your favorite guys, your favorite bets for the week, and then we can get out here and look forward to the action.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of touched on the three that we really liked from the top.
Yeah.
I mean, he is favored at some books now, but just the course fit. I mean, John Rahm is a stud. He just won a tournament. He's playing great,
Yep.
and the price shows it, but I'm still betting him. Berger and Reed, they're mispriced.
Yeah.
Like, their guys, Berger's won a tournament earlier this year. He's had a bunch of top tens. He might be a top 5 player. He's for sure a top 10 player right now. He shouldn't be priced close to 30. And Patrick Reed in a major shouldn't have been 40. Still shouldn't be 30. I found a 30 to 1 on him. So those probably my top 3. And then, like I said, some of those top guys, I am looking to do some fading of the Cantlays and the Tigers and the Matsuyamas of the world.
Can't fade Tiger. I can't believe you. I'm with you. There are a lot of Berger matchups where he's a dog. I'm not sure if you saw all those. He's a dog to pretty much everyone in that top list. So it's hard for me to have more Berger exposure, but I think that's where we're heading. And then, Spieth to miss the cut's probably my favorite bet. I think that's a bet I'll probably have 2 units on, just, inverse me versus him. The dog obviously clearly needs to go outside. I think you guys can hear him. But with that, anything else, Andy, that you want to add to this bad boy? This is going to be a wonderful week.
No, we're cheering for the course for sure. This is going to be a
chaos, baby.
Yeah, it's going to be a scary tournament for some of these players. You're going to see some massive rounds. You're going to see some trouble. They're going to cut to guys in the woods, like hitting. It's not pine straw or whatever they're going to be hitting out of deep rough, bad drops. Yep. It's going to be fun.
That's it. All right, that'll do it. Dogs ready to roll. So that will do it for another edition of the Bettors Tribune. For Andy Mulder, I'm James Mazzola. Everyone enjoy the action, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.